All right, Devin, welcome to Crowdfunding Corner for the week of, what is today? January 22nd, 2025. There's 4 games in crowdfunding right now that I wanted to just cover on this episode. The new year is just kind of getting started, so there's not a lot of games in crowdfunding right now. There are some, but not a ton. But the 4 that I wanted to go over, we'll go over now. This first one is called Everdell Silverfrost. And this game is in the Everdell world, but it's, what do they call it? The Everdell Near and Far? No, Edge of the Map series. Games that are not like a Everdell or an Everdell expansion or an Everdell miniature. They're kind of like, I don't know, halfway sequels-ish. This one says that it is a slightly more complicated version, different map, different artist. I really like the art, actually, but it plays somewhat similarly, where you're playing animals out and playing cards into kind of this city tableau, and then you're putting workers out in different spots. There are just some requirements in this version that are not in the normal Everdell game, where if you want to put one of your workers out on a location with snow, then you have to spend one of your, where are they? Fire tokens, which look very cool in this deluxe version here. And there are cards you can play, and if you have a fire token, you can like spend one of your chimneys in order to build a building instead of paying the normal cost. One thing that Everdell did was they had this big 3D cardboard tree that would hold some of the cards. They've done the same thing here with this 3D mountain, and it holds, I think, the 4 objective cards on these little slots. We'll show it down below in just a second. But yeah, that is pretty much it. It's a slightly more complicated version of Everdell. Cool art, cool pieces in kind of a different environment. I really like Everdell, but I didn't love it as much as some people do. Some people really love Everdell. I think it's like number 20 something on Board Game Geek's top games of all time. I actually sold it because I think there are better worker placement games and better, they call it tableau building, when you're like building your own little area of cards. I think there are better games at both of those things, even though Everdell is excellent and pretty. But if you love Everdell, this is a pretty well-priced and run campaign here. You can get basically all of the Everdell stuff here. They have a ton past games. My neighbor actually has this one, the Everdell Complete Collection, and it comes in this huge box with like every expansion and like everything all inside of it. So you can get all kinds of goodies there. So that is Everdell. What did we say it was called? Silverfrost, I think. Can't find my cursor, so we're just going to scroll like that. Yeah, Silverfrost. That one ends on January 30th on Kickstarter. Okay, next up, this company, Eagle Gryphon Games. They make quite a few very large, very complex games. And these games come in big boxes, like they're huge. The games are about $125 each, just as like a point of comparison. One of those games is called Rococo, and it has like a different intro to the title, I think. And it's, I think, about building, like designing dresses. I haven't played Rococo, so I might be slightly wrong there. They wanted to make a version of that game that was slightly less expensive. So the same designers have made this one, La Patisserie Rococo. Instead of designing dresses, you were making pastries and cookies and stuff. And instead of being in a huge $125 box, it's in a much more like normal board game size box for $45, I think, is kind of the shtick here. It's supposed to be an excellent Euro game. Plays in 1 to 2.5 hours, it looks like, depending on the number of players for ages 14 plus. So this is not a light or simple game. But you're doing quite a few things, getting, what are these called? Ingredients for your recipes. You can get new recipes, hire workers, fire workers in order to get some money back, and then use all of those in different ways in order to be the most prestigious pastry chef. So, yeah, instead of Rococo Deluxe is $120, this one is 45 and will be 65, they say, when it hits retail. So on Kickstarter, you can get it for $20 discount, and I wanted to see what shipping was like. I feel like it wasn't too bad. I think it was $10 in America. Yeah, $10. So 45, $55 for one copy. So yeah, that is, I don't know how to pronounce this French word, but La Patisserie Rococo from Eagle Griffin Games. Also, nope, not the 30th. This is 31st, so next Friday is the last day for this Kickstarter. Okay, halfway done already. 2 more. This is a really cool project. I don't know if they do this every year, because I'm some years in the past I haven't been that keyed into Kickstarter, but 25th Century Games, they make really excellent games. I have probably 3 or 4 of their games, and they make cool ones. This campaign, though, is for games that they have found, what sounds like from other countries. They said bringing games from around the world to your tables. And then they are bringing them to America. Or, I guess, you could probably back this campaign even not in America, but they're bringing them to other places of the world. There's a lot of games listed here. Some of them are small, like trick-taking games. One of them is like a new version of Liar's Dice, which has been around forever. There are a couple games that I just want to highlight in here that I think look really cool. This one on the top right is called, let me find the name, The First Czar. It's supposed to be a pretty complex game from, I think, the same designer as, what game did they say? At the end of every game, like synopsis, they put like why we chose it section here. Oh yeah, so this designer designed Nova Roma, which was a pretty popular game, I think, last year. And it's supposed to be a kind of weight heavy, complex game. I think that one looks cool. The other ones that I think look cool, scrolling back up to the top here, again, for every game they have like a why we chose it section. And let's see, we'll go over those in just a second. Well, let's do it here. So you get that game $40 instead of $50, and you get this cool wood upgrade pack. I think a lot of these look cool. Yellow House looks like a pretty cool card drafting game. The Battle of Versailles is supposed to be excellent. It's about like a fashion show, but some people say it plays kind of like a war game, which is kind of odd. I think this one looks cool as well. This is the one I'm most interested in, though, is Neko Syndicate. And for $20, it's hard for me to not want to back it, even though I'm trying really hard not to spend money this year. I just want to double click on that one really quick. We'll do that after we look at the rest, though. You got Liar's Dice, Take a Seat, Wolf Days and Cat Days. Or if you want everything, you can get like all, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games. But Neko Syndicate, the reason I am most intrigued by this one, 30 minutes to play and designed by my boy Danny Garcia, who we've talked about a few times in the past few weeks. We just talked about, what's that game? Daitoshi and Arborea last week. And so I'm very intrigued by that one here. They say why we chose it. Big, crunchy game in a small-sized box. Clever route building meets engine building meets pick up and deliver simultaneous play, which is also very cool to help a game go by quicker, or you're not waiting for everyone else to take their turns. Keeps the action moving too. Danny Garcia killed it with this one. I've never heard of it, though, so I don't know if it's brand new or if it's one that came out a few years ago that they're bringing back. That's the one for me that is most intriguing, but some of the other ones also look very cool. And shipping here, very cool. To the US or China, $10, and that is no matter how many games you get. You could get the 11 game package and it's still $10. So very, very, very cool. You can get the shipping under $1 a game that way. if you wanted all 11. But I thought that was a pretty cool campaign. Lots of different games there as I scroll back up and make myself dizzy getting back to the top. But that's the 25th Century Games 2025 Import Collection. There might be something there in those 11 games that could be of interest to you. All right. And last up this week, Devin, is a game called Lost Lumina from Dronda Games. And they're pretty quickly becoming like a publisher that I always look at their games when I hear about them. I have, what's that one called? Oh yeah, Isle of Trains, All Aboard. Really, really enjoy that. And I want to get Explorers of Navoria, but I don't have that one yet. This one looks interesting. It's a 2-player card game where you're both playing as like different factions, I think, trying to control this forest. So it's a little bit head-to-head and even slightly mean. But one thing I really like, they price their games really low. Like this game's $24 and the shipping in America is $6. So you can get the game for $30, or you can get a slightly nicer version that has a where is it? Has a playmat for 33 plus 6, so for 39. I do like a good playmat, so kind of fun that way. It also plays in a very short time. I think it's a 20-minute game, if I remember correctly. Where is the part I want to see? How to play. Let's click on you. Oh, I swear it was going to show me. Well, let's look at this real quick. So you draft cards until I think you have like 12, and then you use them to put workers out on the map. And then if you ever move them into an area with the other players, then you have a fight, and you both play a card down to determine like how much strength that fight will have, and then you roll dice based the number of workers you have is how many dice you get to roll, and you get to add the one highest die to your strength. So you could get really lucky with one die and just roll a 6, or if you have 3 dice, you obviously have much better odds at getting a high number. I like that. It kind of reminds me of Andromeda's Edge and how they handled the battling. So seems like it could be a fun kind of in-your-face area control 2-player game. I do think it said it was like a 20-minute play, but now for some reason I can't. Oh, I swear I just saw it. Can't find that on the box. Here it is. 2 players, 20 minutes, ages 10 plus. So can't be too complex of a game if it's gonna only lasts about 20 minutes, but looks kind of cool. I like Dronda games quite a bit. All right, Devin, those are our 4 games this week. Not a ton. We haven't done a crowdfunding corner in a minute.
It has been a minute,
so
yes.
I'm about to throw so much pressure on you. It's not even funny, but what is your pick of the week for this week, which will be January 24th, 2025 when it goes live?
You are looking at it.
Oh,
Lost Lumina for me, because short and sweet, and there's frogs with hats.
Oh, I want to see this frog with a hat. Oh, there he is.
And there's one up above.
Was there?
Yep, see him? You're on him right now.
Oh, yeah, he's like a red frog. I was looking for green. Nice.
No, it seems fun to me.
Yeah, I do like a good 2-player game. I feel like I've played a lot of good ones lately. That's what Marabunta is a 2-player game, and we played Kelp last week. Very unique 2-player game.
And even when we're going head-to-head, you and I are such chill people that it's just part of the game.
Yep.
And
I feel like in 2-player games, I'm a lot more okay with meanness.
Right. Yeah, when there's 3 or 4, you have to pick someone to be mean to, and they're like, you're targeting me.
Exactly. Whereas in a 2-player game, it's kind of like what do they call that? A zero-sum game where anything that's good for me is kind of by default bad for you.
Right.
So it doesn't feel as mean, even though it is. So I think that one does look cool as well. Looking back at these games, I think my pick is going to be the 25th Century Games Import Collection, which is kind of a mouthful. But when I was looking through those 11 games, I already mentioned that one, Neko Syndicate from Danny Garcia, I think would be the one that I got my eye on the most, but that Battle of Versailles looks really cool. There were a couple trick-taking games in there that also looked cool. So just a unique campaign. I haven't seen another company do something like this. Sometimes you see like All Play will do like, here's 4 games at a time, or Bite Wing Games does that sometimes too. But like this one's like, no, hold my bag, hold my board game bag. We're doing 11 games, and they're all from different countries. You know, they might not all be from different countries, but they're from all over the world, which I think is a very cool initiative. I hope that it gets a bit more traction. It's got, 800 backers-ish, but 8,000 would be cooler. So, anyways, that is my pick of the week. So, thanks so much for watching this week's crowdfunding corner. We'll see you next week for the next one. Thank you so much for watching this video. As most of you know, gaming top-down is an independent endeavor. I don't accept money from publishers for previews or opinion-related content, but there are a few ways that you can support the channel and help me keep the lights on. Liking this video and subscribing to the channel helps me to grow. If you're thinking of getting a game that I covered in this video, please click the affiliate link in the description of this video. It helps to support me and doesn't add any cost to your purchase. I also do a weekly gaming podcast where I talk about the board games that I'm playing along with my brother. You can check that out on Apple's podcasts and on Spotify. And you can also get that podcast 3 days early over on our Patreon. You can follow the Patreon at patreon.com/supergamebrothers completely for free. But if you do support us over there, you get some extra perks, like being able to write into the show, getting early access to the show, voting on the games that I'm going to cover and review, and lots of other fun stuff. Thanks so much for your support, for liking and commenting on my videos. You really are what helped keep the lights on for me. Thank you.